How's it going, YouTube? Well, we went through a lot of my childhood, quick stories, I guess. And the last story was us driving back through from Texas to Washington State. And we stayed, when we got back to Washington State, we stayed with my aunt and uncle. And I had 4 cousins: Johnny, Matt, Gary, and David. Now, I was the littlest one out of the whole bunch. So, I was the stunt man, I guess you could say, because they could get me to do anything. David was, what are you, 6 years older than me? And Gary is 8. Matt's 12. I think Johnny's 14 years older than me, I believe, if I remember right. So, and they lived kind of out in the country. So we had, well, I can't say kind of, it was, they lived out. They had like 5.5 acres, if I remember right, at that house. And their closest neighbor was down the road. So yeah, so they kind of lived out in the country. But anyway, so we go out and play in the hay barn, jump off the loft into the hay, which got our asses kicked for doing that. Yeah, Uncle John was not happy with his hay when he got home off the road. Then we went down, they had a creek down there, and we'd ride our bikes and we get up at the top of this hill. It was just a trail, but you know, at the top of this hill, and you'd ride down, you'd try and make it across the creek, which the creek wasn't but probably 3 foot across and probably 6 inches deep. But when you're Evel Knievel, it doesn't, you tend to crash more than you do anything else. So we got to play back in the woods, and then we had another game. God, I can't remember the name of it. What was the name of that? Essentially, it was Crash Test Dummies. My aunt and uncle had a 2-story house, and it had a really wide staircase, and it was wide enough to put a full-size mattress on. And we would get belts and belt ourselves to the mattress, put on football gear, helmets, shoulder pads, right? And we'd start sliding down the stairs, and then somebody would inevitably reach up and grab the banister, which would take you'd be going down like this. They grabbed the banister and it'd turn like this about halfway down the stairs, and we would all roll down the stairs and end up in a big pile. I'm amazed none of us got killed. Amazed none of us broke an arm or got our neck broke or anything like that. We were having a blast. We'd do that all day long. All day long. We'd be, you know, we'd roll down there, and then we'd go outside and run the field and play in the barn, and you know, we lived there for, I think, a month, maybe. I think we lived there about a month. But yeah, and even, you know, when I was younger and a little bit older, we'd still go over to Uncle John and Aunt Carolyn's, and that's where the whole family met. Usually like every Sunday or so. Can't remember exactly. But yeah, we'd do all this stuff. We'd slide down the stairs, go play in the woods, throw stuff at each other, shoot each other with BB guns. Things kids did in the 80s. Parents didn't care. We were out of their hair, they didn't care. So, anyway. From there, my dad got a job up in Seattle. And, well, it wasn't Seattle, it was Tacoma. So we moved up to Tacoma. And, that's where I first remember riding my bike to school. And we lived at kind of a dead-end road. You had to ride out and go down 2 blocks, and then you turned again, you went down this long hill. And that was always the fun part for me, because now, for me, the hill was like the size of Mount Everest, but I'm sure it wasn't, but, you know, a normal hill. It really wasn't probably as bad as I thought it was. But that was always the greatest thing about going to school. You go right down there and you ride down that long hill and get some speed, and the school was right down there at the bottom of the hill. Bad thing was I couldn't ride my bike up the hill. I'd have to walk it. So, yeah, but that was a cool thing about living up there. And I didn't get the exact name of the town. I mean, it doesn't matter. It was in Tacoma. But that's where we live in Tacoma. I'll do this story first, and then I have another story. But me and my sister Cherie, when we first moved up there and got in this little house, this little ranch style house, it was yellow. I remember it was yellow. I don't know why we lived in a yellow house, but it was a yellow house. So anyway, like I said, we lived at the end of a dead-end street. And me and my sister decided to go exploring. You know, this is like late 79, early 80. And so we walked down, and there was like a little field behind the house, you know, at the end of the road. So we were walking out in there, and all of a sudden this fucking big ass German Shepherd comes out of nowhere. And I mean, slobbered teeth, barking. That thing must have weighed 300 pounds. It was 8 foot tall. Remember, I was, you know, I'm 6. So, but anyway, he's a big dog. So the only time my sister, I think, ever decided to save my life in my lifetime, we took off running. There was this big boulder, and I remember she grabbed me and threw me up on the boulder, and then climbed up on the boulder herself. And that dog came up there. He couldn't get up on the boulder because it was pretty, I mean, it was at least as tall as a truck, a pickup truck. And dog, he just kept barking and running around it. And we were screaming and yelling, hooting and hollering. And finally, the man that owned the land back there, that was his dog. He came out there and got his dog. I don't know, we may have been up there a half hour, may have been up there 2 days. I can't remember. It was a while. But yeah, that scared me to death. And like I said, I think that's the only time my sister ever tried to save my life. You know, it's older sister, younger brother kind of rivalry there. Yeah, and I'm still a little apprehensive about German Shepherds. I really am, to this day. It's some more dog stories. I can't believe I actually like dogs. But I have some more dog stories later on. So that's those 2 stories. And then first time I was out on the ocean was up there. I think that's probably a story for the next time, because I'm already at like 10 minutes here on these stories. So tomorrow, the next video will be the boat trip out on Puget Sound, going fishing. Excuse me. Weather's killing me. But yeah, we'll do the story about Puget Sound. That's a little bit of a long one too. And then the next day is the big story. So we'll get these, try and get these rolling. I hope y'all are enjoying these. If you're enjoying these, please like, subscribe, share the videos if you want to. Like I said, I'm mostly doing this for friends and family, so people can understand me more. And I don't want anybody to think that I think I'm dying or anything. That's why I'm doing these. No, I'm doing it for, you know, they'll always be out here. They'll always be on YouTube as long as we have YouTube. Which, I mean, the world's supposed to end in the next 10 years, I think. Whatever it is. It's supposed to be 10 years again. So, yeah, it'll be out there for at least 10 years. Anyway, y'all take it easy and be looking for the next video. Later, guys.